man, like thousands of others around the country, is suffering from a dread disease called nuclearosis. The symptoms? Nuclear blindness. All he can see is a mushroom cloud. He is blinded from the fear of it, deaf from the sound of it. There is a short circuit in his brain. He can only think of the awfulness of the nuclear bomb. A fallout shelter in your basement will give adequate shielding from radioactive fallout. He's finally getting the message. Are you?
Fallout, which may occur miles and miles away from the blast. You need to know about fallout, what it is, how to detect it, and what to do to protect yourself against it. If there are many particles, and if you are exposed to them long enough, you will be hurt.
Packaged foods that have been exposed to fallout should be opened carefully. By following proper procedures, you can eat such foods without danger to health.
If you are not close to home when you hear the warning, go to the nearest safe cover. Know where you are to go, or ask an older person to help you. You know the places marked with the S sign? They're safe places to go when you hear the alarm. If there is a warning, you will hear it before the bomb explodes. But sometimes, and this is very, very important, sometimes the bomb might explode without any warning. Then the first thing we would know about it would be the flash. And that means duck and cover fast, wherever you are. There's no time to look around or wait. Be like Bert. When there is a flash, duck and cover, and do it fast.
Any wall stops the heat. The heat scorches the house, but does not harm the children.
Enough exposure to radiation will cause loss of hair. The treatment, if you'd insist, would be symptomatic. A toupee. But the condition would only be temporary. Your hair would come back. Same color, same cowling.
If you are at home when a surprise attack occurs, crawl beneath a table if it is very near, or drop to the floor with your back to the window. The immediate danger is over in about a minute.
experiment to observe the phenomenon of atomic detonation at close hand. Military personnel and defense officials dig in within a few miles of ground zero. After a final briefing from the officer in charge just before H hour, the men disappear into their foxhole. Every precaution has been taken for their safety. They're told to crouch low, shield their eyes, and remain down until the signal to rise is given. Now the moment of greatest anxiety, waiting those last few seconds. The blast wave reaches the trenches. As the tower of smoke and flame looms overhead, one thought is uppermost in all minds. Now it's over. In the thermonuclear age, civil defense, like military defense, must be flexible. It must develop and grow, even as the forces that threaten our existence. And so until men of goodwill have turned this awesome power to peaceful uses, let us recognize the threat to our way of life, the threat to our survival, and let's face it.
To perform a multitude of peaceful tasks for the betterment of mankind, man is exploring a source of enormous, potentially useful energy: the nuclear explosion. He sees the potentials and he sees the problems. To investigate both and to develop the technology that will turn potentials into realities, the United States is conducting, for the benefit of all nations, a program it calls Plowshare. Tomorrow, when the potential of nuclear explosives is fulfilled, this scene will move to the site for a new harbor, canal, or mountain pass, a mine, oil field, gas reservoir, or water storage basin, or perhaps a new underground laboratory. More than 20 years of experience with nuclear explosions. Hundreds of nuclear explosions set off in the atmosphere, in space, underwater, and underground, in a variety of climatic conditions. All of this explosive experience combines to give Plowshare the foundation for building its own specialized technology. Man had speculated on the peaceful potentials of nuclear explosives even before using them in time of war. It wasn't until the mid-1950s, however, that definite plans began to take shape. The United States Atomic Energy Commission was already conducting the Atoms for Peace program to benefit the health and welfare of men everywhere, developing, encouraging, and supervising the peaceful uses of nuclear radiation in science, medicine, industry, and agriculture. Explore and develop safe, efficient nuclear explosives and a practical, effective way to use them. Safety and technology. What are these actual applications? Some will be dramatic in their effect, as nuclear explosions move huge masses of earth in excavation jobs, reshaping the geography of the land in dimensions never before possible to meet the needs of man. The 100-kiloton nuclear explosion excavated more than 6 million cubic yards of earth in a matter of seconds. The result was a crater more than 1,200 feet in diameter, the length of 4 football fields, and 325 feet deep, the height of a 32-story building, created in less time than it takes to describe it. To clear a volume of rock the size of the Sedan crater with conventional methods
would require more than 2,000 tons of chemical explosives and 25 pieces of heavy earth-moving machinery over a period of at least 6 months. Estimates like this have prompted experts to consider using nuclear explosives to do these immense tasks never before economically feasible. Scientists have already determined that when nuclear explosives are buried at the depth that will produce the biggest crater, a major part of the radioactivity is swallowed up in the rubble of the crater. But the most promising results have been gained by improving the design of the explosive itself and by improving emplacement techniques. Both of these specifically calculated to reduce the release of radioactivity. Although single nuclear explosions to form circular craters like Sedan have been used to develop basic technology and safety requirements, far more practical value is expected from detonating nuclear explosives in rows to form long ditches. Men have visualized the uses for this type of explosion in digging enormous mountain passes and huge canals. This is the peaceful potential of nuclear explosives that the United States is developing for all mankind.